Takes more than guts to be a gangster. It takes good ideas. And I hope these ideas help you. Hey, what's up, guys? This is your mob boss, GangsterKT. I'm going to do a little different video today, but what I'm actually pretty excited to share with you guys. So, this one's about mob theory and specifically a deep dive into some of the numbers around power level increase associated with T18 and level 95 upgrade. So, I'm sure everyone noticed, but all of a sudden it felt like the power levels were just going crazy. I know, comparing my TCP to the Krakens, they used to be like 20 million ahead of me, and now they're over 40 million ahead of me, almost double. And some of my power levels changed, and I have guys now over 400 all of a sudden, with most of my guys still in the high 100s. So I really got curious how this worked and like was noticing some deltas in the stats and power. So did a deep dive just for my own curiosity, see if there's any way to leverage this from a min-maxing standpoint, and I'll share that at the end. But I thought doing all this work, I would share this with you guys. So this is a heavy math video. We'll be talking stats, we'll be looking at tables. So if you aren't interested in that, feel free to tune out, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. But if you are, let's do a deep dive into some of this math. All right, so first I want to cover the level 90 to 95 upgrade. So you can see the table there. So when you upgrade anything in the game, there's 5 stats, and I think everyone knows that. But there's health, damage, armor, focus, and resistance. And then those, combination of those stats should equate to a power level. Now, admittedly, what I don't know is if you had like Kree Oracle and Vol somehow at the exact same stats, I'm not sure if their power level will be equal, and that's based on the kit differences, and I don't know if those are factored into power level or not. So something I hope to learn one day. I don't know if anyone knows that. If you do, please leave it in the comments. But from what I can tell, the power level is really a function of these stats, although it's not always a direct correlation. So looking at this level 90 to 95 upgrade, you can see the health, damage, and armor get about a 13.5% increase from going from level 90 to 95. And the focus and resistance get about a 5.5% increase from that same upgrade. So if you average those out, I don't know if all these stats are weighted equally, but that should average out to about a 10 to 12% upgrade for your character and stats and the power they have. However, the power level upgrade, as you can see, going from level 90 to 95, is a 26.8% increase. You can see the actual in-game picture from a Magneto upgrade there. Um, so that's really different, and that's a pretty big delta. The average actual stat power increase is 10 to 12%, but the power level goes up almost 21 or 27%. Excuse me. So this reminds me somewhat of the T14 upgrade back in the day. It's the opposite. Whereas the stats went up huge from upgrading T14, but the power level didn't. So when you'd go into matches, I'd actually have to look, and if it was within my punch-up range, I'd check and make sure there weren't T14 characters there, because that was actually a whole different fight than what the power level showed. So here again, this is the opposite. If you're fighting someone level 95, and we'll get to this in a second, but if they don't have the T18 upgrade, their power level is actually going to be inflated and higher than what their stats are representing. So that match should be a little easier than what it would look like just based on power level. So how does T18 affect this? So first off, I'm not a very strong guy. I don't really work out or go to the gym. I spend my time on my phone playing Marvel Strike Force. But I'm gonna try and do the ultimate flex here. It's maybe the one thing I can't actually flex on. So let's do it. Boom. So I did upgrade my Red Hawk to T18. I thought about it for about a week when I could do it before I actually did it, and I'm just a little nervous if I was going to use him in DD6. But after seeing Taco Shooter's video and the deep dive there, confident he will be used. So I know it's the last set of nodes in DD6, but he's my favorite character. He's someone I'm using all the time, and I did not want to wait to get this huge stat increase by trying to make sure I'm doing the global first and those things. So I think that's important as we get closer. But as big as this T18 increases, you really need to also factor in like how that's going to help your roster between now and beating DD6. So I'm getting sidetracked, but I did do him. I don't think it's a mistake, although I know others may have different opinions. But let's look at what this increase was. So for health, damage, and armor, he went up about 33% across the board. You can see a 500,000K health increase, 30,000K damage increase almost. That's just crazy. Focus and resistant is 26% increase. So those numbers average out to about a 30% stat increase just from doing that T18 upgrade. But if we look at power level, it's kind of the opposite of what we saw with level 95. The power level increase associated with this only goes up 11.1%. So if someone has a T18, their actual power is not represented accurately in that power level number just for the T18 upgrade itself. Now with that said, to be T18 they have to be level 95, so getting to level 95 they've already gotten that overinflated power level number, and then doing the T18 upgrade kind of brings the stats back up in line with that to where the total power level for both should be the same. So let's talk about that a little more here. So knowing this information and how there is a delta with the power level increase, which is what most of us use to choose our battle and what type of punch-ups we can do in the actual stats, can we leverage that information like we used to with the T14 to actually change how we play a little bit? And unfortunately the answer is no. So this video isn't going to be able to help you with how you play. It's more just a curiosity thing, and I wanted to share these numbers, but it's not really something that we can plan for. So again, level 95 without T18 will be an inflated power level. So if a punch up looks a little too big and you somehow can know it's level 95 without T18, that's actually a smaller punch up than what it looks like on paper. However, unlike the gear, we never see the player level when we're choosing these fights. So unfortunately, we won't know that. If they're T18, we'll know it's level 95. But if it's T17, we can't really tell if the power is inflated by that level 95 or not. So when they're combined, again, the level 95 with the inflated power and the T18 with the too low power kind of cancel out, and those power levels should be accurate again. So there is a window there where you can maybe take advantage and leverage this knowledge a little better than what the power level shows, but we just don't have all the data in the game to know if that's the case or not. So again, I try most of my videos to have advice that can help you play better or can make your roster more competitive than your opponents. This was just sharing the math and sharing how this worked because it was really bugging me and I was curious. I did the math, so I wanted to share that with you guys. So hope you enjoyed this video, a little bit different and shorter, but did want to share that. As always, I give you my word that this is the best advice I have. All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. Peace!